This is Sky Blues Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sky Blues Extra Live. What an amazing away win. Did it pretty easily in the end, didn't we, Dean?
Well, you say that. Backs against the wall that second half, and it wasn't the most pleasing performance, I would say, but we did enough, and that was all that was needed to get 3 points today.
I mean, if you're struggling for an away win in the league, then surely all you've got to do is visit Adams Park, isn't it? It's just
twice
what
in
a magnificent record the Sky Blues have got there, and again have come away with 3 points. But I think I've not got any nails left. I'm sure the Sky Blues Extra followers at home have also not got any nails left. But yeah, what an amazing performance to get, all 3 points. An amazing and huge away win. Just sum it up for me, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the performance wasn't great, was it? Let's be honest. It wasn't. We haven't hit the heights as yet, but we did what was enough to beat that Wycombe side today. They weren't that good until sort of Akinfenwa came on the pitch. I thought we were sloppy at times, but job done. 3 points, happy days, first away win of the season, and we move on.
Exactly. And before we kick off proceedings, I'm sure a lot of Sky Blues Extra followers would have seen that we had a prize giveaway on today's show. We'll pick the winner and announce that ready on Tuesday. But to be in a chance of winning, all you need to do is retweet or share this stream on any of the platforms you're watching on. You can share your YouTube link via Twitter or Facebook, or you can share the live on your Facebook. Or if you're watching on Periscope or Twitter, you just need to retweet to be entered. We'll scan through all of those quote tweets, shares, and more to make sure that you're entered in with a chance of winning this signed Matty Godden poster, which...
Lovely.
Exactly. A few more R's, Dean.
Ooh.
There we go. Yeah, it's like, yeah. But no, seriously, it's probably quite topical, that image, isn't it? Because we've seen that in that kit at Wycombe. It was 4-1 that time. This time it was 2-1. But to kick off proceedings, Dean, let's talk about Mark Robins' starting 11. And, if you are in the comments, make sure you tell us what you thought about Mark Robins' starting 11.
Well, we had a little bit of a heated debate, didn't we, before the game kicked off in our Sky Blues Extra group chat. I just didn't see what this team was about, to be honest. I thought he was going to go one up front, that's for sure, but I didn't see Shipley playing. If I'm honest, this game was set up for us to be very technically astute and pass the ball around. I thought Alan would have played ahead of there, or even Giles. Giles had looked really, really good in that forward position in those games he's played.
Yeah.
I think Robins was just trying to go for a carbon copy of last season when we played Wycombe, but we were a different side then,
Do you think he worries, sounds silly, but Giles defensively from a midfielding point of view? I think Shipley probably gives you a bit of both, doesn't he? He's not quite box to box, but I feel that he gives you a bit more defensive. Sounds odd because Giles is obviously a left back, but does that make any sense? Probably not.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but what did he do defensively or attacking in the 26 minutes he was on the pitch? Absolutely nothing. That's 2 games in a row now where he just hasn't been involved in the match, and he was right to be dragged off. Now, I don't know if he had an injury or not, potentially, but it wasn't working. So Robins made a bold decision there to bring him off early, and it paid off because having Hamer there, he ran the show again. He was influential in tackles, in any sort of attacking set we had in this game. So for me, it was a bold decision to bring him off, but the right one. I look, if you're gonna go with have a carbon copy of last year, we don't have Zane Westbrook there, we don't have Matty Godden.
Yeah.
And those two were key in that match last season, and not having them there today to try and do exactly the same as last year, I don't think it would have worked. And it didn't cost us because we came away with 3 points, but.
It was a game though, wasn't it? Whereas a lot of bookings, Robins obviously clearly got that right because he was clearly protecting Hamer for perhaps the Huddersfield fixture, which he thinks is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm not saying he under sort of prepared for Wycombe, but I think he probably felt that we had the measure of them, and that's why he was looking to make some changes. But
that's why I disagree with the Shipley comment where you're saying he's better defensively, because they weren't going to be much of an attacking threat today.
Yeah, and also that middle of the park was almost from them probably going to get bypassed, wasn't it? We know they play that big ball up top.
So it just didn't work, and Robbins was right to do it, to drag Shipley off. He just hasn't got.
Do you think that was tactical, or I haven't obviously got the benefit of Robbins's post-match, and I'm sure people will enter it into the comments below if they've heard what, if anything, has gone amiss with Jordan Shipley, of course. But do you think it was tactical, or because he did look to get a knock, but then he seemed to be running around back Springfield again?
He was fuming coming off the pitch, so it can only be tactical for me. He just bypassed Robbins, bypassed Vivash, and had no words for them. So it was a tactical decision, I think, and it was the right one.
Yeah, well, Sky Blues Extra followers, in the comments below, do make sure that you drop a message. And what would you have done? Would you have brought off Shipley that early on? Would you have let him to play on? And did you think it was tactical? And do you think Robbins was right to do that? Hamer obviously had a huge impact in the game. So do drop your comments, and we'll get as many as possible on there. But going on from that, Dean, what we'll do is bring in Glenn. I think first of all, bring in one of our guests. That would be great to get some comments from Glenn.
Evening, Glenn.
Evening, lads. You all right?
All good.
Yeah, all good. What did you think, Glenn?
I was all right till I nearly threw the phone across the room when he scored, and then realised it was offside. And then watching it back, he's never offside in a month for Sundays, but we'll take that.
Need to look along the line, do we, on the iFollow? I'm not sure if we could see if he was certainly off, but you're pretty confident he wasn't. You think he was onside?
I think when the shots hit, there's two on the run, and I think Hyam's in the middle. I'm not sure where I think if it's borderline if they're off. Yeah. But I think, to be fair, I don't think Wilson had that much. I don't think either goalkeeper had much to do during the game, and I just think they're only going to go one way when they go 2-0 down, and it's whether you've got the strength to hold on. And we just had that 10-minute spell at the start of the second half where we could have killed the game off, and we didn't. But I think we looked solid. We didn't give up that many chances, I don't think, really. I don't think Wilson's had a lot to do. And the only time they really looked threatening was the odd cross in the box or the odd set piece. And that was when Akinfenwa came on and was blocking the keeper off. But I agree about Shipley. I don't know what's going on with him. He just wasn't in the game. I get the logic of resting Hamer, but he made a massive difference when he came on. And if that 45 yarder had gone in, it'd be probably one of the best goals.
Oh, didn't it?
Best goals we've ever scored. And he's just class. And the thing I liked, there was an incident towards the end of the second half where he was chasing back.
Yeah, I saw exactly the same thing.
He would have gone in and made the challenge and got himself booked. He didn't.
He kept up with the player and then stood him up, didn't he? It was a really, really selfless piece of work, and it made such a difference because they had to go backwards, didn't they? And that was huge. Who was the man of the match for you today, Glenn?
It's hard today, actually. I think Kelly was superb for the time he was on.
It's not hard for
as well.
And I would probably say Ostergaard. I think Ostergaard's come into his own. The last, and I mean, the marking for the Kelly's second goal is absolutely atrocious by Wycombe, and he's bullied Grimmer, but he looks more like he's found his feet and he's getting to know how the Championship. I hope he doesn't get booked on Wednesday night, and the same goes for Sheaf and the same goes for Hammer, because we're not going to see Kelly for a while, I don't think, and that causes a massive hole in the team at the moment, I think.
Going forward, Glenn, to you mentioned there Wednesday night. You've saved me because I was going to say Tuesday. Huddersfield. It's a big fixture, isn't it? It's live on Sky Sports and, of course, also on iFollow. So Sky Blues fans got plenty of options to be able to watch the live match. How do you see that one going?
I think they've been on a good run and they got absolutely whacked today, didn't they? But he rested 5 or 6, so I don't know whether that's with an eye to Wednesday night. It'll be interesting. I think maybe his hand will be forced and he'll have to go back to Max. I thought Max actually did really well in the short cameo that he was on. I think Bakker probably did a lot of the donkey work. I don't think it was ever going to be a game where Bakker was going to shine, but I think it was probably just do the donkey work and run around and make a nuisance of yourself. But no, I think I'll probably bring Max back in and it's O'Hare, but then you're kind of struggling down on options on the bench, really. Again,
just going back to the Wycombe game, Glenn, was that a penalty for you? The sheaf push? Do you think it was soft, or do you think you're giving the referee a decision?
I think you know what they're going to do. That's their style of play. There was one a bit later on, wasn't there, where the lad hit the deck, and I think you give the ref a decision to make, and I think we got away with a few things. I think the first Kelly chance, Walker's blocked their lad off, and O'Hare's gone through. I think we got a bit of a rub of the green, and I say we got the rub of the green at the end, but I think 2-1 was a fair result. I think we were the better side for the majority of the game, and I think until they made the triple substitution, I don't really think they were in the game for any period, to be honest. But yeah, I was quite happy. But yeah, I think we got a bit of luck, but we'll take it because there's been other games this season where we haven't had a bit of luck.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just about to say, it's about time we had some, and it's gone in our favour today. Especially their goal. I mean, that second goal he's onside by probably about 2 foot. I think it's the ricochet has probably done the linesman, but I'm not complaining. We'll take that.
Yeah, we've, like I say, not forced away. We've dominated them and we've got suckered. So that kind of balances it out, and it's 2 big games again. Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday. Let's try and get 4 points and keep the run going.
Glenn, it seems like you're needed elsewhere.
That's all right.
Perhaps someone's hungry. But before you go, Glenn, do make sure, obviously, as Sky Blues Extra followers, all of you can, and including you, Glenn, can share today's Sky Blues Extra Live on any platform you're watching and be entered into a chance to win the Matty Garden signed poster. Thanks ever so much again, Glenn, for coming on and sharing your insight.
No worries, lads. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Glenn. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, as I mentioned there, do share as much as you can to be in a chance of winning, but also do make sure you let us know who is your man of the match for today's fixture against Wycombe. A hard-fought 2-1 win, of course. Both goals coming from the captain, Liam Kelly, one with just one leg. He didn't need his legs, Dean, because it was a great instinctive header. But should we just talk about that first goal? It was almost they backed off thinking, let him shoot.
Oh, unbelievable. What did we call him? Calzinho on
it was actually, yeah.
And he's turned up. I mean, I was straight on the blower to my man in China, getting those pajamas ready for Christmas. Liam Kelly pajamas for everybody. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant strike. But what I loved about it, he intercepted that pass as well. It was a little bit great work by Walker as well, to be fair. But brilliant strike, and it was no more than what we deserved. We did look at a bit of an attacking threat in that first period of the game, and we had a sniff, but brilliant strike. Can't take that away from him.
Yeah,
didn't know he had it in his locker, to be honest.
Well, I think they just backed off, didn't they? And that was it. It opened up, and the keeper, I think, was probably blindsided a little bit by the defender, who kind of just sort of was halfway, wasn't he? Halfway house, stuck his leg out, but should we have a look at some of the comments for Man of the Match, Dean? See what the Sky Blues Extra followers think of today's game and who was the man of the match. Harry Freeman King there, man of the match between Dabo and Kelly. It's a good shout. Hamer changed the game and gave us another level of energy. Yeah, I mean, he really did, didn't he? He gave us something completely different than what we perhaps needed. Michael with Kelly there. Kelly seems a popular man. Robins man of the match to change it so early. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be talked of, isn't it? We've talked so much this year about the fact that, Mark Robins has been slow or non-existent to make changes when perhaps people have been crying out for them. But not today, 29 minutes, I think, and that was enough. He's seen enough to be able to make the change.
Yeah, and it was important we did that because it was just slightly getting away from us a little bit, and I don't want to go on about it too much, but yeah, Shipley wasn't involved, and it's been probably like his last 3 matches in a Sky Blue shirt, to be honest.
Brilliant, yeah. And I can see we've got Ross, who does our memory lane pieces. He's waiting in the wings. Ross, how are you? How did you enjoy that one?
I did. I'm quite glad my heart rate just started coming down. It was 140 beats per minute at one point. I was thinking that was before the disallowed goal.
Check mine actually.
Oh my! I'll tell you, that was. Yeah, I was thinking when that went in, I just turned around. I had my head in my hands, and
they had momentum, didn't they? It was it was worrying. Sort of nail biting, I think, because we've just seen it so many times with Coventry, I suppose, over the years that, and in most football games, that pressure is very, very hard to, defend against. But Ostergaard, in both attack, but in defence, was leaping like a salmon, even towards the end to defend one. I think the commentary got it slightly wrong. I think they said Hyam defended 2 and Sheaf, but I think one of them was Ostergaard. He sort of got round the back and, headed one that you just didn't even see him getting to. It was a tremendous defensive ability and display, wasn't it, by the Sky Blues?
Yeah, no, it was definitely Ostergaard. I mean, he's got a very distinctive jump. He really does leap, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to the commentary, then everyone would be different players. They get everybody wrong.
It was half time on the 89th minute, wasn't it? So
yeah, and we're playing
I was a bit worried about some of the lads'
Wimbledon
fitness
today. Yeah,
Wimbledon. We were playing Wimbledon. I thought, what is going on? Anyway, but no, he did win, and because I was a bit concerned. Fads got beat as soon as Akinfenwa came on. He got beat a couple of times, and it was almost like we were so eager to try and attack Akinfenwa that we almost got sucked into him.
Yeah,
and then not necessarily him winning all this stuff, but we sort of just got dragged. He sort of forced us to sort of go out of position. We lost a bit of discipline. I felt like the first 10 minutes, and obviously got the penalty, which was obviously frustrating. I just wish that Hamer goal had gone in. I tell you, that would be
I know. Well, it hit the post, didn't it? On second glance, it hit the post. I thought it'd gone wide.
Well, when he hit it, I thought Allsop's beat, and I thought it's dipping. I thought if this goes in, I might lose. I'm going to lose it. I think, But it was it had shades of David Bell, Doncaster all those years ago. But no,
David Beckham then.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say.
Well,
Beckham.
Beckham
similar players.
David Bell, similar players,
Yeah,
but
he just didn't quite have the celebrity career of David Beckham, but apart from that, pretty much level on par.
Same guy.
It was a brilliant, huge 3 points though. I remember saying the last couple of draws we've had in the midweek, I thought, well, there'll be even better points if we back it up with a win. So Luton was a bit of a boring game, but that looks like an even better point now. We're 10 points clear of Wycombe, so I think that's huge. And it was just, I don't know. I feel like I've been beaten up. It was brutal. I thought they last half an hour because it was just every time they got it, they just launched it, and I just thought.
Really put us through the ringer, didn't they? Who was your man of the match today, Ross?
I can't. It's hard to look past Kelly for his 2 goals. I mean, he hasn't scored in 2 years. I actually laughed more than I celebrated when that went in, that second one. I actually was laughing. I just thought you couldn't write it. This dude is hobbling around the pitch, refusing, and then he scores a header. But I'd probably go Kelly. But then to be fair, Hamer, he was quality again. He was quality. He was unlucky not to score at the end. And it was just interesting listening to you guys talk about. So when the Shipley thing, so obviously he did get a little knock, didn't he? Just like 10 minutes, but 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
And then he's coming off, and I remember thinking, he sort of throws that doubt into your mind of whether it was tactical. I agree. I think it was because
that was happening before that injury for sure. You could see on the far side Hamer was being talked to.
Yeah,
and you could. Yeah, but that's why I think because I thought it was at a similar time, and you could see that it shot to Hamer, and I thought, oh well, maybe something's gone amiss here. But then he seemed to be spring-heeled, didn't he, afterwards, and was running around and. I think it just wasn't his day. I think he was frustrated as well. It's very difficult because he's trying to play himself into a position. I can't only imagine the pressure that Jordan Shipley's heaping on himself game after game, minute after minute, match after match. And that's going to on
for him. That's
sure. It's going to weigh very heavy, isn't it, for him?
Oh, exactly. It's only going to get like I said, it's only going to get harder. So I think it's one of those where obviously the last couple of games we played 2 up tops, and then there's not really a spot for him in that sort of because O'Hare's got that cam role. And then today we went back to obviously the formation which we played against Wycombe last year. The box which Shipley's had a place in. And I agree, Dino, man. I just feel like I don't know. I'm just not sure what's amiss really. He's just not quite. getting around the pitch. That's probably my biggest thing. He just doesn't seem to get around the pitch, and cover the ground as much. And it's sort of like I didn't feel like we had anyone who was putting their foot on the ball and we were actually wanting to keep the ball.
Yeah.
I felt like, I thought Kelly obviously scored 2 great goals, but I felt him and Sheaf and Shipley and Harry, it was sort of just bypassing them all of them, and it sort of, they were quicker to the second balls, and obviously the crowd I think helped them a bit. But Hamer came on and made a big difference, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And what did you make of the penalty? Because Ben Sheaf had a bit of a mixed game. I thought he looked comfortable at times, but of course that was a very naive, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was pretty angry at him, to be fair. Mainly because I thought, why are you giving the Wycombe player had to score a worldie from there. You'd have had to catch that unbelievably to score. And I'm thinking, why are you giving the ref a decision to make? I mean, there were so many fouls in the game, because they were getting on and on and on at the referee for all these fouls, and I just thought, why are you touching him? Why are you giving the referee any decision to make?
Yeah.
What's that? Our 7th penalty conceded this season?
Yeah, 7th.
And our last 5 goals, 4 of them are penalties conceded.
And we've not looked like saving one, have we? Really? Even with Morrissey or Wilson, I don't think we've ever really worked the
I don't think they've ever gone the right way. I don't think they've gone the right way on anyone. If anything, they see where they're going and they just dive the opposite direction. Yeah,
we've not.
We've got a keeper on the bench who, he said a few times, didn't he, against us, in the league camp last season. Got lifted up like
he's a penalty specialist, isn't he, Lee Camp?
But I thought Wilson played very well though. Again, I do like his kicking. I think he did.
It's straight out, isn't it? As soon as he gets hold of it, he's looking for the channels.
Yeah. I think he looks much more confident in the air as well. I must admit, I was slightly concerned because of the Rangers fixture was one. I think there was a pre-season when he let it roll across his body and it sort of went in. It was like, comical really, but more about him coming and claiming. But even today, I know Oggy said he got nowhere near it, but he actually did get a small glove to it, which deflected the direction. Okay, he came and punched and perhaps didn't get a full fist on it, but he is coming. I think he looks like he's commanding his box a lot better and sort of has a good understanding of when to come and when not to
come. Well, Morrissey never comes. I don't think he always stays on his line. And obviously, sometimes that's good, but sometimes I don't know. It just makes me nervous. Like, what was that? I think was it 2-0 when they had that corner? They went all the way to the back post, and that was when Wilson did stay on his line. I'm thinking that's what happens all the time when Morosi's in goal because he stays on his line. Whereas I don't know, I feel quite confident when Wilson comes out and he actually does come. I'm thinking, well, if he catches this or he gets fouled, goalkeepers are protected, aren't they? Unless he doesn't do a clanger, we should survive it. Whereas when they're stuck, stand on their line, I always just think it just pens us right back in that 6-yard box, and anything could happen.
And finally, Ross, before we let you get on with the rest of your evening, I'd be intrigued to see what you would do if you were Mark Robins against Huddersfield. He obviously tried to rest Hamer today, but he's got to start, I expect, on the Huddersfield game. Do you think, can you see any way back for Shipley, perhaps? Is there any other players you can see perhaps starting against Huddersfield? Or do you think it would be a similar team? With obviously Kelly now is looks to be possibly out. We don't know how serious that is.
That is a blow. I hope it's not long because we've said it several times. On like podcasts and stuff. He's so much better. We're a so much better team when he's in the team. I wonder whether they'll go 2 up top because Huddersfield do like to play it out from the back as well. And they've got caught several times. I remember Cardiff a couple of weeks ago. They got caught out. I'd go 2 up top, and I thought Max Biamu. I thought he was brilliant when he came on. I thought
absolutely outstanding.
I was talking to a friend he was watching it, and I was saying about Baka, and I was a bit critical of Bakayoko, but I thought Biamu came on and he just won. He was winning stuff. He looked energised. On Tuesday night he looked pretty leggy. I'd start Max. I think I'd go back to maybe the 5, but then the 1-2, the O'Hare behind Walker and Max. I think.
With the games coming thick and fast, Walker, he's running himself into the ground, isn't he? Every game. That's going to take its toll, but there doesn't look like a huge alternative, does there now? With God, I'm
not sure I want to see Max and Baka start again.
This is why I think he'll just go with one. I think he'll just go with Biamu a game against Huddersfield. We're going to be out of possession in this game for 75-80% of the time. They're a hugely possession-based side.
Yeah, they are.
We're going to be chasing shadows pretty much the whole game. So that's why I think he'll go with one up top and try and get away with a draw in this game. I think Walker will be rested.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll let you get on with the rest of your evening, Ross. We'll look forward to seeing the next memory lane from you.
It's all done, Dave. That was a tough one because the last time we played Huddersfield was like 1974 or something, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough one. But I found some black and white footage on YouTube from 1967.
Well, we'll let that one be a huge surprise to the Sky Blues Extra followers. But do make sure you read back the Wycombe 4-1 that Ross has put into some fantastic words for you, and that's on the Sky Blues Extra website. So do make sure you check that out. And have a lovely evening, Ross. And
you take care, boys.
Enjoy that 3 points. Well, I think we should probably go to some comments, Dean. I think we've probably had a hell of a lot, haven't we, in the period. And while you're flying through them and finding them, I'm just going to remind any viewers at home that if you share today's live stream, you'll be in with a chance of winning the Matty Godden signed print. That will be winging its way to one lucky winner, and we'll announce that winner, of course, on Wednesday after the fixture with Huddersfield on the live after the game. So bringing up some comments, Kelly 2 goals, unbelievable. Jeff, I mean, wasn't it? Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Got to stop giving the penalties away. It's huge, isn't it? Just didn't need to, did we?
No, it's a stupid challenge. Didn't need it, and that's one thing we've got to eradicate from our play quickly. Yeah,
I just don't get this, Dean. I'm afraid. I don't think we can be afford to drive anyone to any clubs in January. We've got a fairly small squad. Teams can now make 5 substitutes every game, and Jordan Shipley. There's been times when, earlier on in the season, people have been, congratulating his hard work, his commitment, how far he's come in, since his League Two games. And of course, the same for Bakker. We know he gives you 90 minutes of running if he's required to. I don't think we've got a squad, have we, that we can surely be doing much business in with no budget.
I'd co-drive this car with Largy, to be honest, if we had the funds available and a better squad, but we don't. So we need numbers, unfortunately. It's okay saying Bakker will run 90 minutes, but that's not good enough in the Championship. You've got to have something about you. Ross brought it up there when Max came on for that 5-minute spell. The first time got hold of the ball, held it, and brought someone into play. He's just got a much more of a footballing brain. He just knows what's going on.
Yeah,
I think that's what lets Bakker down. Is his football.
He had a big chance today, didn't he? I think to show Mark Robbins that he can help the side. But
he got a ball into him, and he should have half turned and went on a run, and he just hold it and he missed control. It was just bad to see, and it's just not his level, and it's not his fault. Let's be honest, it's not his fault. He would have gone in the summer, if we'd have got in that guy from Wolves that we wanted.
Dadishov, is it?
When that transfer,
I'm not sure that was what his actual name is, but
when that transfer fell through, that's when Bakker knew he was going to be at the club, and that's why we signed him on to another year deal, because we were going to get some cash for him. That was the only reason. He isn't a Championship player. He was hardly a League One player, to be honest. But it's needs must. He's another body in the club, and he'll have to play his part at some point, and to an extent, he did that today.
Yeah. Any more comments there, Dean, from about perhaps
tons about the pens.
Good. It's a topic that we need to address, isn't it? Both on Sky Blues Extra Live and as a team.
Yeah.
Another penalty given away. It's just no need, was there? No need.
Absolutely. This is important as well. Giles has been outstanding, I think, so far this season. And he's been very unlucky to be dropped out of the team. I thought there was probably a chance for him to come into the side today, to be honest. But do
you think Dabo's done enough to keep his slot, or McCallum?
Dabo, for the first 2 games he was back, Dabo was ropey. But you look at the last 3 games he's played, absolutely outstanding, like a steam train, like the old Dabo we know.
Yeah.
Going forward, those mesmerising runs, taking people on, using his strength. his positioning as well. You know, if it's a 50-50, he's always in the right position.
Yeah.
He's going to win that ball. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's a real good asset to his game.
Any concerns about McCallum at all from today's fixture? Did a lot of running as well. You know, he did a serious amount of running. I think that was a grueling game today. You know, it must have really took it out of them. It was end to end. It opened up so much that I think the Sky Blues could have, you know, equalled last year's, you know, fixture really, and scored 4 goals. There's plenty of chances. There was one on the left hand side that Walker, perhaps, you know, sort of he just held on to it a bit long with his left foot, and there was also a chance I think for maybe O'Hare. I think I'm trying to
and
remember.
Hamer had that chance towards the end of the game as well on his left foot, which was a difficult chance, but you know, for someone.
But yeah, you keep that low and hard, and that's it. It's another goal, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a good comment. I think I wouldn't go as far as drinking the water, but I'd certainly bathe in it.
Yeah, well, it's as close as holy water as you'd get in any sort of in the inner ring road of Coventry, I'd imagine. Mark Robbins, of course, has done a fantastic job, you know, steering the Sky Blues back to the Championship, and he's made us really difficult to beat, especially in the last 7 fixtures, and now 7 unbeaten. Absolutely huge, and the Sky Blues are starting to put a big gap between themselves and those relegation teams.
Yeah, this is a good point. Reverting back to last season's system, you know, I think we've got to mix it up in this division. I thought today was the day we could get the ball on the deck and start playing triangles and that little fancy stuff we had last year, but it just didn't work out, to be honest, that much in the game, and that will happen. You know, there'll be games where it'll work and games where it won't, but what we didn't need to do is revert to the long ball in that second half just because we had Bakayoko on the pitch. I actually thought it was the wrong substitution, if I'm honest. So I would have brought someone like Jamie Allen on because, you know, we're 2-0 up. They're going to have to chase the game. And there's going to be so much counter-attacking ability and threat that we would offer. And someone like Jamie Allen, a little bit busy, a little bit quicker on his feet, well, I think would have been the guy for me in there today. But, you know, we've won, so it doesn't matter. Like we said, points, 3. Happy days. Yeah,
exactly. Well, while you search for a few more comments, Dean, I'm just going to bring up a couple of more topics for anyone that's still on the Sky Blues Extra Live. And do remember, you just need to retweet whatever platform you're watching on to be in with a chance of winning the Matty Godden print. But one thing I want to know is, when it was switched in Backer or Max, would you have brought Max on at that time? I thought it was quite a... I'm trying to understand Robbins' thinking with perhaps Bakayoko coming on, but is it quite clear for you? And, you know, obviously Sky Blues Extra viewers at home, do let us know in the comments if when forced to make that change, you would have brought on Max Biamu instead of Bakayoko.
I wouldn't have bought either one, like I just said. I thought Alan would have been the guy for me.
Sorry.
But I know what he's thinking is. He's thinking is that if it goes a bit more direct and they start getting corners and little stupid free kicks in and around the box, you've got an extra big man there to potentially alter any threat, because they were always going to bring Akinfenwa on at some point. And you know, I mean, you know what he's about. You know, he just takes other players out of the game.
There was a moment when Sam McCallum dropped off of him, which I think's the way to play him.
Absolutely,
really.
100%.
I think he's either going to bring the ball down or flick it on to no one, and they're not that great. You know, let's be honest. Some of their second touches were a tackle, weren't they, for the Wycombe side?
Let him win the ball. If he's going to bring it down and smash one in from 35 yards, good luck to the guy, because I don't think I've ever seen that in his career.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he's going to flick it on, at least we've got men around them second bodies ready to win that ball. You know, just back off him. Give him 2 yards. He's not going to turn and swivel and shoot on a sixpence and rifle one in.
A sixpence. You'd have to put a few sixpences together, Dean,
exactly.
I think, to be able to...
Yeah, probably snap. But, you know, he's not going to do it. So
you know what you're getting with him, don't you?
A little bit more clever in that regard when he's on the pitch. But, you know... Their penalty came from him holding the ball up a little bit and knocking it down. So we just got to be a bit more clever.
Funny enough, the one that McCallum did drop off, he just sort of put the header up in the air, and it was for the offside goal, actually. But if you're going to drop off, you've got to make sure that you're man marking all of the other players, right? Because that's where the flick on is gonna come, and you've got to be watching out for that. And we didn't do that, and that was why the volley was fumbled by Wilson, which, let's be honest, you know, it's not it's not easy with a crowd of players all in front of you like that to get clean hands on it. So
and a very pressurised situation at the end of the game where
exactly,
they've been bombarding that box for the past 5-6 minutes.
Yeah,
it's very different.
Just to break away, why Sky Blues Extra followers on here as well, do make sure you drop us a comment. I want you to rate Gareth Ainsworth's, costume, I think we could call it, out of 10
is it when
today.
When you got a football match at 3 and a Kooks concert at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, and I went AC/DC on Twitter. But no, very interesting, because you've got Mourinho, who is very suave in the suit. You've got Poch and Mark Robbins that do the whole tracksuit combo. But this was something else, wasn't it? It's incredible. Was it Chelsea boots, jeans, and a leather jacket?
Lovely. He just rocked up out of All Saints, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, there was a sale on. I was there earlier.
Actually,
so
there you go.
Maybe that's what it was.
This is like Richard here. Glad we got a good result for him. Obviously been diagnosed with COVID, not an ideal situation. So we do wish you the best, Richard.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, great to see the boys getting you 3 points to put a little bit of smile on your face, I hope.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as all of us, when we get a chance and this is hopefully all put to bed, then we'll be back in grounds. It was lovely, wasn't it, back in grounds and see some fans there, even though it probably made our job a bit more difficult today.
Absolutely. I love Ostergaard giving it some as well to some guy on the front row. He was like, come down here.
Did he?
Yeah, love to see that.
Yeah.
Give them some shit, that's for sure.
Okay, so Josh has said about an extra day to recover. Good point, isn't it?
Important, yeah, definitely.
And also another on TV. It's at St Andrews, isn't it?
Yeah, we looked jaded on Tuesday night a little bit, I thought. I think it was probably one of our worst performances of the season, to be honest. We didn't look like we were going to offer anything. But it was both teams, really. Both teams looked a bit leggy. And we got out of it with a draw. Kept the unbeaten run going, a little bit of momentum going into this game. But now we can look ahead to Wednesday. Huddersfield are a good side, to be honest. They are prone to mistakes, though. And that's what we've got to capitalise on. They've got a few good players, Josh Karoma, Isaac Mbenza, really, really top quality players. So we've got to be on the lookout for them. So it will be a tough game, and that extra day I think will help us.
Let's bring some comments in about the costume. The outfit that Ainsworth was wearing. Nathan's got an interesting one. 11 out of 10. That is strong.
Wow. Someone's got a hairy biker.
Yeah, fair.
Did I need a third one in the hairy bike? Because he can just concentrate on desserts or something like that.
yeah, with that sort of creativity flair, dude. He just comes along and does the old Salt Bay.
Absolutely, just gives it all that, yeah. Cover 3, Def Leppard gig at 6, yeah, definitely. Actually, there was a little feature with Clem on Football Focus with Gareth Ainsworth today. I think he spoke really, really well. He seems like a really, really top guy.
Yeah.
He's done absolute wonders at Wycombe, and we can only applaud him for that.
Of course, because he was
involved
at QPR, wasn't he? After football, I mean, he was involved management. He actually took the squad, didn't he, at QPR, under really difficult circumstances. Of course, if anyone at home has watched the 4-year plan, it's as good as The Office. Actually, it's the comical value is superb. And if you haven't watched that football documentary, definitely do, because it's a great watch. Have you watched that, Dean?
I haven't, no, but I'll definitely go and give it.
It's superb. It's about when the Italians came in and took over, and they were sort of just sitting at the top of the ground saying sack him when he missed a tackle. It was superb. It's great viewing. But but Ainsworth has done a fantastic job, hasn't he, at Wycombe? Yeah,
brilliant. Really, really good. I mean, they were on the brink of pretty much extinction, falling out of the Football League. I think that probably would have been disastrous for Wycombe as a club if they dropped out the Football League. But to turn them around and to get them into the Championship, outstanding job. And we can only applaud him for that. A bit like, him and Mark Robbins are kind of in the same mould in a way. They've done their time, and now they're reaping the rewards with two, albeit very different sides of football. But fair play to him, and all the best to Wycombe. Hopefully, I would love to see them survive, but I just don't think they've got enough.
Okay, and in the competition of how many times I can flash this competition, Dean, but no, do remember that you will be a lucky winner of the Matty Godden signed print if you retweet, share on any platform, and we'll go through all of the comments and shares at the end, and we'll pick a winner, won't we, Dean, on a random selector. I think that's going to be your job. We'll get you doing that. And then
tuxedo on.
Yeah,
I'll do the old Rod Stewart.
Yeah, and then on Wednesday we'll announce that after the fixture, of course, with Huddersfield. And I did say Tuesday earlier, but it definitely will be Wednesday. Danny saying about Ostergaard is a beast. He's found his feet, hasn't he?
Absolutely outstanding. And Spud wanted us to talk about him.
Yeah.
From Twitter. Brilliant. I mean, not only defensively, obviously that's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
His positioning is first class. So you can see he's been, taught to a really, really top standard. And playing at St. Pauli last year, that would have helped. I mean, that German league can be very physical at times, especially at the back, and you can see that what he's learned from that physicality. But what he gives you going forward is outstanding. I mean, I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 players sort of over the past 10 years who have that sort of dominance in the attacking box.
Yeah.
I'm talking like your John Terrys and your Vidic's were really, really good in that attacking corners, attacking free kicks. His positioning is great, and how he leaps and gets the power on it every single time. It's every time he does it. He gets the same amount of power and he gets the same leap. It's outstanding. And he doesn't want to be at Brighton because they're not going to play him.
No, he's already said that, hasn't he? He's gonna hold out for a contract, I think.
Hopefully, we've got a really, really good opportunity to get him through the door on a long-term deal. But I think what will probably let us down is there'll be a lot of teams sniffing around.
And Ken's put a point on here that you sort of shared about Jamie Allen. Interesting one here. Yeah, should have brought on Allen, then Max a bit later in the game.
Yeah, just because I just thought we were going to be counter-attacking a lot more in that second half. It was obvious they were going to bring Akinfenwa, and if we could defend that ball and get hold of the second ball, we were going to break and attack with fluidity. And I just think Jamie Allen would have given us a little bit more going forward, and perhaps we would have, opened up a little bit more of those opportunities when they arose. Because when Bakker got hold of the ball, he didn't really do enough.
Hold it up, did he? Didn't hold it up,
and therefore we couldn't really get the ascendancy. But we're saying these things, but we've got 3 points.
Exactly.
We're
3
pulling
points.
We're
away from home as well. First away win.
We got the 5 wins, the 6 draws, the 7 defeats, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nearly. Nearly got the steps. But that's 8 points now clear. I'm just looking, 8 points clear of the relegation zone, 10 points clear of Wycombe, 12 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
And another 3 points.
And we've still got some fixtures against teams that we definitely could be picking points up against.
We're 10 points off the playoffs, Dave.
10 points off the playoffs, and you've got teams coming back to you, of course. Millwall looking absolute
going backwards.
Spiral.
Absolute backwards.
They're spiralling.
QPR as well. Rotherham started this season really well. They're going backwards as well.
Reading, of course, did, and they're probably starting to pick up again. But they went on a patch where they couldn't buy a win for love or money.
Can't buy a win. Forest can't buy a goal. Never mind a win. I mean, Chris Hughton is really, really pushing his luck there. I mean, they seem to be the owners in charge at Forest who will make rash decisions. So Chris Hughton could be out of a job by Christmas.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Millwall disarray. Really, it's again. There's going to be pressure. Let's not forget, there's a team that finished 8th, I think, didn't they, last season, and could have had an outside chance of playoffs if games had gone a little bit for them in the last few fixtures. So, their fans are going to be perhaps calling for some changes as well. So it all looks positive ahead of Coventry City, doesn't it? And they've put that gap between them. So Mark Robins doing a fantastic job, Dean.
Absolutely brilliant. If you'd given this position at this stage of the season, we'd have probably bit their hands off. 18 games played, 21 points. We're clear of the relegation zone. We've got breathing space now, which is great. You look at that international break in November. We were down in the dumps. We were 1 point outside the relegation zone.
Yeah, we
couldn't see where the next win was going to come from. Performance
naive defensively,
and it's just changed dramatically. And I'm really proud of how we've done that. We're always going to have sticky patches, of course we are, but we've overcome this first sticky patch we've hit in the league. And it's about how we go on from this, and I think we've done really well so far.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of today's Sky Blues Extra Live. But between now and Wednesday, you can share
one thing. This is how I felt when Liam Kelly scored that goal.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, and I'm sure like everyone else. But 2 goals, and when he hasn't scored since 2018, it was it 18? I think.
Yeah, Stevenage away, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
just fingers crossed he's not out for too long.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that really. Whether it, I think if it was really, really serious, I'm not sure he would have carried on playing. To be honest, and what I mean by playing, I'm not sure he would have just gone sat up front. I know he went into a forward midfield role, but I think he wouldn't even attempted to. He would have just gone, he just would have said, no, he can't. He would have gone down, I think. So that hopefully is a positive, that he's maybe just stretched something a little bit too far, and it may just be a small, pull or what have you.
And this is a good point to end on. The Sky Blue machine, it rolls on.
It certainly is. Well, we'll be here again after Huddersfield, hopefully talking to you again about 3 points. Another tough fixture. They don't get any easier, Dean. They're all hard games in the Championship, but December's probably, if not, a little bit more kinder to us. And we've already shown that. 7 undefeated now since the tail end of November, and Coventry City really going the right way.
Absolutely, and it's great to see. We've just got to keep going. If we can get through this month now with another 10 points under our belt, and the future's bright going into January.
Exactly. And let's pray, of course, for the infection rate, of course, not just for football reasons, but for many reasons, that comes down in Coventry, because that would be a massive, massive, plus, I think, for people around Coventry, being able to travel to games and be able to go to St Andrews, albeit on a ballot style bubble we've seen from the club's communications in recent days. But that would be absolutely amazing, and we saw what difference it made to probably quite a poor Wycombe side, really, but they definitely showed that they had their tails up at sometimes with just having that crowd back.
Yeah, and they got on a bit of pressure onto the referee. He's kind of brandishing cards left, right, and centre.
Yeah, it was. Some
stupid fouls that never fouls any. It's just, but that's what a crowd can do. And until we can get our own crowds in there, we're going to have to deal with that. And I think we dealt with it to an extent today. But it must be so different for the players now, because they've played so many games with hardly any atmosphere, and going into that sort of environment, they could be in awe of that. But we dealt with it, so we're just going to have to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And if you haven't been able to join us and you're watching this perhaps back, not live, then you can still share and retweet the Sky Blues Extra Live, and you will be entered into the draw to win the Matty Gordon print. We're going to check through for winners probably Tuesday, I expect, Dean. So we'll say wrap it up Monday. Get your shares, get your retweets in by midnight Monday. Dean will be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, looking through your comments, and a bit like Robbie Savage on the old FA Cup thing recently. That was something.
More of a Rod Stewart man.
Rod Stewart man, yeah. A glass of sherry in the other hand. But
absolutely, yeah.
We'll make sure we choose a winner with a randomer selector, and make sure that we get that Gordon print posted out to you. But what a fantastic result! Another huge 3 points and an away win for Coventry City. Mark Robbins, ADV Vash, and the Coventry City juggernaut rolls on.
Play up Sky Blues.